Hey, what's up, Neil? If you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section, or you can DM me, and I'll be sure to answer those questions for you. I'm gonna give it 2 more minutes to let some other folks join in before I begin. Hey, what's up, Repping? If you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. I'm gonna give it 2 more minutes to let some other folks join in. Hey, what's up, Ed Tattoo? I'm gonna give it 2 more minutes to let some other folks join in. Hey, what's going on, Chris? If you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. Adrian, what's going on? If you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. I will be beginning in a few seconds, or I'll give it 2 more minutes. What's up, Jeff? If you have any questions about the pre-market prep, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. All right, so let me go ahead and begin. This is the pre-market prep for Tesla specifically. All right. And the format is very simple. I'll go over any red and orange folder news. This is scheduled news that could negatively or positively impact the market coming into today's session. And then I also take a look at Tesla specific news that may have dropped recently that could also impact Tesla negatively or positively. After that, I go over my any day trade recap to take a look at any trades that I might have taken the previous day. And after that, we'll take a look at currently or where Tesla stands currently in the pre-market. And then I'll go over my strategy and then answer any questions if you guys have any questions. All right, so let's begin. So Tesla is up 0.22% currently. It was just up 0.37%. Yesterday, Tesla closed at 328 and change, down from the last Friday. Friday was a big move for Tesla, unexpected, but I did capitalize on that move. I made over $400 Friday fairly quickly because buyers stepped in aggressively, like right from the open. All right, so let's see. Let's take a look at my trade from yesterday. I was looking at Tesla. Like I said, Tesla is my primary option, just like an NFL QB. They have their primary option and then their second and third option. Tesla is my primary target each and every single day. If Tesla doesn't show any relative strength or weakness, then I'll take a look at my second and third options. And yesterday, QQQ was relatively strong right out right out the open. As soon as Q's opened, I mean, buyers stepped in aggressively, as you can see here. So definitely took advantage of that quick snipe and left some trailing contracts. So I was in and out of the trade total 23 minutes. So I made a little bit of money, $119 in 23 minutes. So that's pretty cool. And so far this week, let me just quickly show my calendar view real quick here and zoom in for those of you on TikTok. All right, so coming into this week, first green trade this week, like I said, $119. minus Thinkorswim's fees. So 96. So one green trade today. Last week, 1.5, almost 1.6K. And then the week prior, 2.2K. So this week, or excuse me, this month, I'm up 3.9K. So looking forward to the rest of this week. Tesla does have earnings dropping on Wednesday. So I expect Tesla to do much of the same as it did yesterday. A lot of choppiness coming until today. So I'm not really expecting much from Tesla, as you can see here. Let me switch this view for you guys on TikTok. Let me. So Tesla didn't do anything, just a significant relative weakness coming into the open, just dropped and then just consolidated for the rest of the day. Let me move this up so you guys can see it. Yeah, so you can see in the pre-market, we didn't do too much in the pre-market. We did retest the previous day low. This was the low from yesterday. And it looks like we are trending up. So we'll see what happens when we come into the open. I'm not expecting any moves, just more consolidation from Tesla. So I'll be taking a look at, second and third options to trade today. Only A plus setups. So I'm not looking or too anxious to jump into any trade. I'm okay not taking any trades today, and that's the part of the game that some traders miss and which causes them to be unprofitable and unsuccessful. So coming until today, we'll see what Tesla does, but I'm not expecting too much for Tesla. So let's take a look at any red and orange folder news that is scheduled today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section, and I'll pause periodically and take a look to see if you guys have any questions. But you can find scheduled red folder and orange folder news on forexfactory.com. It's a free website. It's a free website, so anyone can access it. And I just did a quick refresh here so you can see yesterday that was showing Monday. Appreciate you guys for the love and for the likes. If you find value in this, feel free to like, subscribe, and follow for more. Help me get to 1,000 followers so that TikTok will provide me with a streaming key, and I can add that to my OBS software so I can provide you guys with a better viewing experience for those of you on TikTok. Let's see here. So we have scheduled news coming until today, Tuesday, right? So we had red folder news that happened at 4:15 a.m. And you can see if there's any impact because the pre-market always opens every day at 3 a.m. So if we take a quick look at 4 a.m. and I can just kind of, let me adjust my view for you guys on TikTok. So if we come into today and navigate to 4 a.m., you can see here we did have a drop after that red folder news dropped. So again, on Forex Factory, this is scheduled news, and you can take a look and see for any ticker what impact this scheduled news may have had, either negatively or positively on the ticker of interest, right? So let's see if we have any more. We do have some orange folder news coming up shortly at 7:30 a.m. So that's in another 12 minutes. And then also again at 9 a.m. So we have the Fed chair will speak at 7:30. So we'll be on the watch out to see how that impacts the market. All right. And then again at 9 a.m. we have Richmond Manufacturing Index. So we'll take a look and see if that has any impact at all. Let's go ahead and move over to Tesla specific news. If you guys are interested in any other ticker, specific news for any other ticker, it's really easy to find that news. And I can show you really quick how to do that. I'm using TradingView, tradingview.com. Let me adjust this for those of you on TikTok. TradingView.com. This is a free application. A lot of traders use this application because it's more visually appealing as far as the charts are concerned. All right. So let me quickly demonstrate. This is assuming you do have an account. You do have a trading account. So once you have a trading account, you will go to products, click on super charts, and from the search modal will appear, and then you can pick your ticker of interest. And then once you open up your ticker, there's a right pane that will appear. And this is obviously assuming that you're on a laptop or desktop view. The mobile view will look slightly different, but on the laptop or desktop, Hopefully you guys can see that clearly. And let me zoom in just a little bit more so you guys can see that on TikTok. So you can see there's a link here for Tesla. Click that link, it'll open up a new tab. Once that new tab opens, then you can see there's several tabs on this page, and you just click on the news tab, right? And once you click on the news tab, you'll get specific news for that ticker for your ticker of interest. Obviously, my primary focus is Tesla, so I'm only focusing on Tesla specific news. And what I do is I quickly skim the headlines to see if there's anything of interest. Now, I'm periodically scanning this news every single day, again, because I'm looking for any news that could negatively or positively impact the market. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section, and I will pause periodically to answer you guys' questions. Keep in mind, if you do find value in this content, feel free to like, subscribe, and follow for more. Help me get to 1,000 followers if you find value in this content, so I can receive that streaming key from TikTok, so I can add this to my OBS software and provide you guys on TikTok with a better viewing experience. Those of you on my other social media platform, obviously you're able to see this clearly. So anyway, let's jump into the Tesla specific news. Let's do a quick skim and see if we see anything of interest. Now, what I do when I'm checking out Tesla specific news, again, I just read the headlines, and then I check the time when the news launched here. As you guys can see here, let me zoom in a little bit for those of you on TikTok. And then I go back to as far as where it might say like 12 hours ago or greater, because I've already checked out this news before. So let's see what recent news dropped. So we do have some that dropped 14 minutes ago. Let's take a look. Market chatter: Tesla settles Louisiana lawsuit over ban on direct car sales. Oh, yeah, that could have some impact. Let's open that up a little, and then we'll take a look at that shortly. 34 minutes ago, market chatter: Trump mulls reduced role for SpaceX and Golden Dome project as Musk relationship sours. Now that sucks, but listen, this is I don't know. I don't even know if this is going to hold, right? Because listen, for those of you who aren't following Elon, any of Elon's companies like SpaceX, X, the social media platform, and Tesla, this guy, business wise, he's the man, right? He's the man. There's no question about that. So we all know that NASA has contracts with other space service providers, okay? And one of which is Boeing, and the other one is Tesla, okay? And there was a moment where there were some astronauts who couldn't get back home because the Boeing spaceship had some issues, all right? And they couldn't resolve those issues quickly enough, right? Or quick enough. And so who did they call upon? They called upon Elon's SpaceX to help bring those astronauts back home. So when we so when you see this news like this, Trump's mulls reduced role, yeah, he's gonna mull over that idea. But listen, there's no question about how uh, fierce, like, and motivated Elon is in terms of his companies and driving them forward to be successful. And that was a huge moment for SpaceX. All right. So you may not like Elon as the person, and that's very well, I get it. But in terms of his business savvy, there's no question, right? So yeah, Trump might mull it over, but man, that's all he's gonna do, because who else can you rely on? All right, NASA called upon SpaceX to help deliver these astronauts home, and it was a huge moment in history. All right, so Tesla, SpaceX is going to be around for a while. So yeah, that's about all he's going to do. But we'll take a look. We'll take a look at that too and see. Otherwise, let's see what else do we have in the news. Lockheed, no Trump malls benching SpaceX. Yeah. For those who haven't heard about the Golden Dome project, this is basically a defense system that Trump wants to implement. Now, obviously, our neighbors across the globe aren't too happy with that. There are a few countries that aren't really happy with that idea, because to them it appears as a they're definitely taking offense to that idea, because from where they sit, it's like we're preparing as the U.S. We're preparing to launch, strategic attacks on, them and other surrounding, countries. So yeah, so that's why a lot of countries, our neighboring countries, aren't really feeling that idea. But Trump, he wants to move forward with it anyway. So we'll see what that does. But yeah, him benching SpaceX, not likely, not likely, because who else is going? Who else is he going to call on? So Tesla's easy money. Let's take a look and see if we have anything else. After this, then I'll jump into. We'll take a look at where Tesla is currently in the pre-market, and then I'll go over my strategy and discuss what I'm expecting coming into the open today. So let's see. SpaceX moves 150 million in Bitcoin after 3-year dormancy. Tesla earnings are coming. Yep, this is what we're expecting. That will drop on Wednesday. So if you are following Tesla or expecting to make any trades, I would be very cautious. A lot of investors for the past weeks, months, have been very cautious and haven't done anything until after earnings. All right. So what I expect is maybe a little bit more of a drop coming until today, and then more consolidation until Wednesday after earnings dropped, and we'll see. Now, I can show you guys very quickly that earnings, even if the earnings are bad, all right, it won't stop Tesla from pushing up, from buyers stepping in to push the stock up. So as you can see here, we have red earnings, earnings, red earnings, and then green, red, red. So it doesn't matter for Tesla. Tesla, a lot of investors are really confident in Tesla's um, business overall, and that's why buyers continue to step in and push the price up. So even if red earnings come in short or red in the negative, investors are still going to be paying attention to see what future moves lie ahead for Tesla. Now, keep in mind, Tesla is 90% automotive currently, and 10% energy. All right, they're making big moves in the energy sector. They're setting up this huge battery plant in China and other places. All right, so with that said, what else is Tesla? What else do they have in the pipeline? Well, they also are excuse me, they're adding another arm to their business. What is that arm? It's AI. It's AI. Recently, they did launch the robo taxi service, but don't be fooled by the service and see, just on the service, on the surface, that they're offering this service. Well, it's an application for AI, right? But this is the third arm that they will be adding to Tesla, and transitioning Tesla from an automotive company to a tech-based company. All right. So now you can see the bigger picture is it's not just robo-taxi as a service, it's the application of AI and how they will be able to, gather data, because they're also going to be monetizing that data as well. So keep an eye out on that. Again, just as a reminder, if you guys have any questions about what I'm discussing today in the pre-market prep for Tesla, feel free to drop them in the comment section or DM me your questions, and I will definitely get to those. I'll pause briefly and take a quick scan to see if there's any questions. Let me do that now. Do you guys have any questions? I'll give it like 30, 60 seconds. See if you guys have any questions. If not, feel free. Like, I go live every day, Monday through Friday, to discuss the pre-market prep and what I'm expecting coming into the market open. If I do that at 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern, and then I also go live with my mentor every Friday. So you guys can check out the simple breakout and retest strategy live and in action if you're interested in learning that. Let's see, we do have a question brand new to this. What would be a good first cryptocurrency to buy? Good question. However, I'm not into cryptocurrency. I trade stock options. I did buy some Bitcoin, and it's currently up at the moment, like 20, 22, 23%. I haven't checked recently, but last I checked last week, it was up. And I only bought like $2,000 worth. I started to buy 100, just one Bitcoin for 100K. And as soon as I was attempting to do that, I think like the next day, it dropped to like 87K. So I was like, I'm gonna give it a little bit more time before I buy, like, more, like one full coin, whatever the price is. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not an expert in cryptocurrency. But any one of you who's joining this live, if you are, feel free to answer those questions and let me know, and I can add that to my community information so I can provide that for future uh, folks who might be interested. Thanks for following. I appreciate the love. Thanks for the likes. If you find value in this content, feel free to like, subscribe, and follow for more. And let me know if you have any suggestions on how I can improve the overall experience, because I'll be happy to do that. This is what I'm into. I love this stuff, man. I'm a new day trader. I've been doing this for the past 3 months. I have been profitable, learning directly from my mentor. As you can see, take a look at my results. Now I'm up 7.9K so far. Let me go switch views here, switch over to my dashboard. I'm up 7.9K so far. And this is just within the past 2 months. All right. I did have some issues as I was learning, right? As you can see from this equity curve here, this is an equity graph. You can see I started out pretty well, but as I was learning, I did run into some things that I didn't know about and learned very quickly from my mentor. And so there was a point where I was down like even negative 3.4K. So you can see look at how smooth everything is becoming now, and just that growth. So yeah, I expect more of the same. I just have to continue to remain disciplined, focus on only A+ setups, and I should continue to reap the reward. So yeah, if you guys are interested, hey, feel free to join me live because I'm sharing free access as my mentor trades live and in real time. Now, his community is all on his Zoom call, but I paid 3.5K, all right, $3,500 to join his mentorship 3 months ago. I started in April, and you can see my results. All right, you can see my results. And if you want, this is not complicated. I do want to note I was working as a software engineer for the past 10 years, earning a six-figure salary. That's complicated. Learning how to trade and grow your money, this is not complicated. You have several options, right, at your disposal. You could day trade, which is to say you entered a trade at some point during the day and you close out of that trade before the session ends that day. But there are longer term option op, option positions that you could take as well, or option trades you could take as well. And you could do that for like, it could be 1 week out, a month out, 3 months, 6, 9, a year, 2 years. You do have that option if you don't have the time to sit in front of a screen, even for, let's say, 5, 15, 30 minutes or an hour. Maybe because you're too busy, you're working a 9 to 5, or you have so many responsibilities. You do have options. If you want to know more about that, feel free to drop that in the comment section and I will explain. Because I do want people to understand there is no excuse in this day and age for us not to grow our money. It's okay to have a 9 to 5 and even love the 9 to 5 that we have. But there's no excuse to live paycheck to paycheck or only rely on that one stream of income. You can easily grow your money. And I've been demonstrating that for the past 2 months. So a lot of the perception is, well, I think buying these option contracts are too expensive. Like take Tesla, for example. But listen, look at this. Can I show you guys this quickly for those who might be interested? Yesterday, I bought a couple of contracts that were $53 each. So don't let people deceive you and tell you that trading stock options is one, too expensive, and then two, too difficult. It's not. Take it from a software engineer. All right. Take it from me. And I'm 46 years of age. All right. So if you guys have any questions about anything that I'm discussing today, feel free to drop them in the comment section. If you're finding value in this content so far, feel free to like, subscribe, and follow for more. And I will definitely get to you guys' questions, no problem. But yeah, look, I mean, $53. Look at this one contract. If you had bought one contract for Tesla last week, Wednesday or Thursday, for $313, you would be up $600 right now. That's a longer term position, right? You would have taken a weekly position, which means that your contract wouldn't expire until 7 days from that point, and you'd be up $600. Now, obviously, I bought more contracts, but that's not the point. the point is how much does one contract cost, and how much can you gain from just one simple contract? And I've done that several times. Now I do have the means to buy $10,000 positions or 50,000, and that's what I was typically doing in the beginning. But when I was seeing a lot of people in my mentors community express this concern, I decided to check into this myself. And so I started to look into this. Do you guys want to see something really quick before I move on? Let me pull this tab off. Let me log in, and I'm going to show you something really quickly that you guys might find of value, because I went live yesterday and a lot of people found value in this. So I definitely want to reshare this because I think a lot of people might be interested in this. So those of you who are on my live currently, bear with me. Let me log into Thinkorswim so you guys can see this, and I'll show you this quickly. This is not complicated. It's very easy. So just bear with me. Give me a minute to log in. Let's see here. And then I'll show you this. And then if you guys have any questions about it, I can answer those questions and help you understand how simple it is to start growing your money. All right. All right. So give me a second here. Yeah, this is good. Let's see. Let me take a quick check to make sure I'm not missing anybody's questions. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section, or excuse me, the live chat. I appreciate the love, appreciate all the likes, and appreciate the follows. Guys, help me if you're finding value. Feel free to like, subscribe, and follow for more. Help me get to 1,000 followers so TikTok will give me the streaming key so I can provide it to a software that will let me provide you guys with a better viewing experience versus me pivoting from my mobile device like so. But yeah, all right. So I just logged into Thinkorswim. I want to show you guys this really quick for those who might be interested. We were just discussing how you have the option to take longer term positions if you don't have time to day trade, right? You have a 9 to 5, you're too busy, you got so many responsibilities, you just don't have the time to, whether it's 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Quickly, let's take a look at this. I was in and out of this trade within 23 minutes. Look at the times that it's taken me to make the money that I'm making. It doesn't take much time at all in terms of day trading, but I am in front of my computer and I have to manually enter these trades and exit these trades, which does require concentration, right? So whether it's 30 minutes, 15, or an hour, you do have to have some level of, ability to concentrate. So if that's too challenging on the job, let's say if you have a 30-minute lunch break or an hour, that may be too challenging for folks. And so let me show you how you do have the option to take longer term positions. All right. You're still trading options, but you're taking longer term positions. So let me demonstrate that. This is true for any ticker. I'm just going to use Tesla as an example since I already have it opened. This is Thinkorswim. This is the application. Thinkorswim is free to sign up, but there are other brokerages that you can use as an FYI. Robinhood, Webull, but I'm using Thinkorswim. So if you decide to use those other brokerages, this obviously the user experience will look different. But as an example, just to communicate the point, this is Tesla. I'm using Thinkorswim, and what you see here is a option called the option chain. So we're going to extend this, and I'm going to show you what I mean when I say you could take longer term positions. You don't have to day trade. So for example, these longer term positions, you could be in them for a couple of days to a couple of weeks, a couple of months, years. It's up to you. It just depends on how often you want to, rinse and repeat this process. So as I mentioned before, if you have bought one $313 contract for Tesla, for example, last week, Wednesday or Thursday, you would be up after 2 days, $600. So what am I showing you here? Well, this is an example of what you would see in your brokerage, whether it's Thinkorswim, Webull, or Robinhood. And these days that you see here noted in the parentheses, what this represents is time till expiration. Time till expiration. So 3 days, 10 days, 17, 24, and so on. Look at this. You can go 6 months, 9 months, years if you want to. All right. So you can buy one contract, even if you can only afford one or two contracts. I was showing you guys how much I've been testing these cheaper contracts to see if you can make money, even though I could take much more uh, larger positions like 10K or to 50K. I've been testing these lower, cheaper contracts to see do they move. And yes, they do. So don't let people deceive you and say, oh, investing in stock options, it's too expensive, and plus it's too complicated. No, it's not, people. Take it from me. I've been working as a software engineer for the past 10 years. And if you were to ask me and say, hey, Ace, is it possible for me to become a software engineer? I'd be like, let's slow down a little bit. Let's slow down. All right. You have to be tech savvy. Plus, it's very tedious. It's a very tedious process writing, hundreds to thousands of lines of code. But day trading, no. Just to start growing your money, there's a lot to learn. I'm not going to understate this. There is a lot to learn in terms of day trading that will help you become an even more profitable trader. But you don't have to learn. Keep this in mind. Note this, all right? Lock this in your memory. You do not have to learn A through Z before you begin profiting or gaining profits as a day trader. Trust me. I've been doing this for 3 months and I'm already up 7.9K. All right. So you do have the option to buy cheaper contracts if that's all you can afford. There's options for that, and you can begin growing your money. Guys, if you have any questions, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the live chat and I will answer them. And so I don't miss you, I'll pause briefly to take a look. All right. If you're finding value, feel free to like, subscribe, and follow for more. But yeah, so you can see these cheaper contracts. Now, back to this here. Oops, sorry. Back to this here. Let me pivot for those of you on TikTok. These within the parentheses, as I mentioned, this is time till expiration. So 3 days till expiration, 10 days, and so on. All right. So if you don't have the time to day trade, it's okay. You can take longer term positions and let your money grow gradually. As I mentioned, if you have bought just one $313 contract last week, Wednesday or Thursday, that contract would be up over $600, all right, within 2 days. All right. So from Thursday to Friday, you would have been up $600. Monday, it did jump up immediately. So if you would have, you know, quickly exited that position, you would have been up a little bit more. So there was an option to do that. So you basically you would select whatever time frame you feel most comfortable with. Do you want to wait 10 days, 17 days, 31 days, 38? So you don't have to be in front of your screen watching it all day. You can check on it periodically and make sure that it's doing its thing. Now, what would you be looking for after you make your selection? How would you know when to enter the position? Well, I'll talk about that briefly as well before I move on and talk about what I'm expecting coming into today's market session. So let me switch this view. I'm going to use Qs as an example. I'm going to switch to the 4-hour chart so you guys can see this. And this is just an example. All right. If you guys have any questions about this, let me know. Drop your questions in the live chat, and I will answer them. But how do you know when to enter the position, and how do you know when to get out of these positions for these longer term trades, right? Well, what you're waiting for, and every stock does the same. There's only two directions a stock can go, up or down, right? This is all about price. Price can only go in two directions, up or down, right? And every company works the same. Now, every company might not go not excuse me, might not go up simultaneously, right, together, but they will go up and they will come back down. Why is that? Well, it's an auction. If prices only went up, then no one would be able to invest. No one would be able to invest. I see a question. Hold on. Let me pause briefly on that explanation. I want to look at the same chart you are. Can you tell me how to get there? Yeah. So you're on, are you currently in TradingView right now? This is tradingview.com. Do you need the steps from the very beginning, or do you want me to start from where I am? If you're already logged in, to Trading View, I'm on QQQ. I'm on QQQ, and I'm on the 4 hour time frame. The 4 hour time frame. If you're already logged into Trading View, if you're not, then I'll have to walk you through the steps to get to this point. So, are you already in? I'm not logged in. Yeah. I'm not sure if you can see the charts without being. Yeah, I think you can see the charts without being logged in. Does it give you an option to search for a ticker? And do you already have an account? If you do have an account with TradingView, it is excuse me, it is free to sign up. So you can quickly sign up, and then I can walk you through. I can even record a video, to show you these steps. But if you're not logged in, I would go ahead and log in. If it does present the option to, let me pull up. Hold on, let me see. I could test this really quickly. I could pull up Chrome Incognito and see if you can search the ticker. Let's see, super charts, because now, yeah, you can search. So yeah, you can still follow along. Tradingview.com. I'm using Incognito. What you'll see here is the search. So I'm on tradingview.com/chart. Tradingview.com/chart. All right. So if you guys want to follow along, I hate that I have to pivot or show you guys this from my mobile device. That's why I'm I'm really encouraging people. If you find value in this content, like and follow, because help me get to 1,000 followers, and then TikTok will provide me with a stream key, so I can actually provide you guys with a better viewing experience. I can connect it to my software and screen share versus using my mobile device. But yeah, tradingview.com/chart. Click on this search field. It'll bring up the search modal, and just type QQQ. And we're looking for the one that says NASDAQ. Should be the first one to pop up. So I'm doing this very slowly. Let me know if you're getting this. Trading. I see you, John Mark. Thanks for joining. QQQ. And then once you're in, you should see a letter here. This stands for daily. This is the daily time frame. We want to switch to the 4 hour. Oh, no worries. Yeah, so you don't have to be. So keep in mind, you don't have to log in. I'm actually in Chrome Incognito, so you can follow along. Tradingview.com. Tradingview.com/chart is the URL that you'll type into the browser. And then once you type that into the browser, I'll just refresh and then you want QQQ is the chart that we're on, right? QQQ. So you would just click on the search field in the upper left-hand corner. Hopefully you're on the laptop or desktop. If you're on the mobile view, like on your mobile device, this might look different. So if you're on your laptop, yeah, just you should see the same or similar user experience. Click on the search icon or search field, type in QQQ, and the chart that you want, the ticker you want, should say NASDAQ. NASDAQ. You on an iPad? Yeah, it should look similar. I can pull up my iPad. If you can't find it, I'll go grab my iPad and walk you through it. But do you see the search field where you can type in QQQ? Because if you see that, then all you have to do is just select this first option. Like I said, we want the one that has NASDAQ in the far right column. It's an ETF. You can't find it. Give me a sec. Let me grab my iPad. Let me double check. All right, let's see here. All right, so I'm on my iPad, and I have a older version. I don't even have the latest iPad. I think this is like 4 years old. So I'm gonna go to tradingview.com. I'm not logged in. I'm going to tradingview.com. And let's see here. Tradingview.com. Okay, so from tradingview.com, if I pull this into view, this is my tablet, my iPad. So this is what I see on tradingview.com when I log in. Excuse me, not log in, when I visit the website on my iPad. Okay, so this is what you should see. Now to get to where I'm at, you just click on the hamburger menu. Do you see this view? Can you see this view, John? Or is this what you're seeing on your screen, on your iPad? If not, like I said, I'll help you. I'll help you offline. I'll help you offline if you can't find it. But those who might be on their iPad, this is what you should see. If you're on tradingview.com, right? Tradingview.com, you don't see that view? Yeah, I can help you offline. You can that way you can follow along tomorrow. Um, so that way you can see exactly how to get there, and then I'll help you guys out. But those who might be on your tablet, I'll just finish showing you on your tablet, and I'll switch back to the laptop view. All you do is click the hamburger menu, and then you click products. It's free. You don't have to sign up. You click on super charts, and then it's going to bring up a chart, right? It might be Apple by default. All you do is click on the search field, and then type in QQQ. You want the option that has NASDAQ in the far right column. So we'll select it. And you should see the default chart that's selected is the daily chart. That's what the letter D represents. We'll click it and scroll to the 4-hour chart. You see 4 hours. So this is the 4-hour time frame. That's the one that we want. To minimize this right column over here, just click this, looks like a sheet of paper, and that will help extend the view. Yeah, I got you, John. I'll show you how to navigate to that offline, and then we'll get you squared away. All right, so those of you on your laptop and desktop, if you are, no, I don't want to join. How do you get out of this? Refresh. Those of you who don't have an account on TradingView, you don't have to sign up. Oh, you made it to products? Okay, yeah, cool. So when you click on products, oops. When you click on, oops, sorry, let me go back, get this off the screen. Yeah, when you click on products, the next option you want is super charts. You see that? Super charts. And then it should bring up a chart of some ticker. It might be Apple by default, like it was for me.
But all you have to do is just click on this search field and then type in QQQ. For me, it's already typed in because I typed it in previously. But you want the option that says NASDAQ in the right hand corner or right hand column, right side, right column. And then you just click it, and that will bring up the chart. And if you're on the mobile device like your iPad, like this is, you might have this right column opened already. Just click this little icon in the top. Looks like a sheet of paper or a note. Just click it once to minimize that view so you can have a much clearer view of the chart. The next thing, you'll be on the daily time frame by default. So you want to click this option to switch to the 4 hour time frame like I am and just select the 4 hour time frame and that'll switch you to the 4 hour time frame. I'm currently already on the 4 hour time frame. All right. And then those of you on your laptops and desktop, you should already be here as well if you're trying to follow along. Now, I'm going to switch back to this view because I like the dark, the dark theme. It's easier for me to see. Now, again, so getting back to the point, when, what are we looking for? When, how do we know when to get in, and how do we know when to get out for these longer term option contracts? Excuse me, longer term option positions. Well, and this example is true for every ticker. I'm just using QQQ as an example, but this is true for every ticker. Every price, or excuse me, every ticker goes up in price and down in price at some point. Why? Because this is the marketplace is a continuous auction. All right, it's a continuous auction. If price only went up, then there would be very few buyers who could afford it. Very few buyers. So that's why at some point price will drop. There will be some sort of news that will drop that would cause it to drop. All right. But at some point, the price will fall. And when it does, that's what you're looking for. And this is true for any company. When that stock price falls, that's what you want. That's what you want. That's what you're waiting for it to find a bottom. So your next question will be, well, how do I know when I find the bottom, when it drops? Well, what you're looking for, the sign that you're looking for is when buyers begin to step in to push the price higher. If I zoom in here for you guys, you can see this is what you're looking for. You're looking to see when buyers are stepping in aggressively to begin pushing the price back up. And then you'll notice when the green candles for those who are completely new. The green candles are for buyers or they represent buyers. The purple candles represent sellers. Buyers, green, purple, sellers. All right. When you see these green candles begin to form, like so, as the stock, remember, we were just dropping. So look, sellers are just complete. All these sellers are just selling off these option contracts, right? So to note, when we find the bottom is very simple. We're waiting to see when buyers step in to start pushing the price back up again. And it'll look something like this, right? You'll see many of these green candles begin to form. And when that happens, the next thing that you're looking for is the next set of down close candles, right? Remember, these down close purple candles they represent sellers. And this is very easy to see. It doesn't take, this is not rocket science. This is not complicated. Anyone who's looking at these charts can see this. Let me pull this up just a little bit. So anyone can see this. So we're waiting for the next set of down close candles to confirm that it's not going to go lower. And then you see here, look at these two candles. Look at these two green candles. Remember, the green candles represent buyers. The purple represents sellers. So we had this aggressive push up initially by the buyers. Sellers tried to step back in and fight to push the price back down. But buyers said, yeah, that's as far as you're going to go. Right? That's as far as you're going to go. You can only go this to this point, no further. And you can see, look how aggressive. You can see the difference in the body candles, or the body of these different candles. They're small, medium size, and then there's these larger candles. This is your sign. So you wait for that first push, then you'll see that sellers will try to continue to push the price down again, but then you'll see buyers maintaining and holding this level. This is a level or a zone, okay? Some sort of zone. All right. And then once you see this, that's your key. That's your opportunity to jump into a trade, a longer term option trade, right? So you can get in anywhere during this candle. Again, this is a 4 hour candle, so this is what happened within 4 hours. You see something like this, you can get in at the close of this candle, or you can get in anywhere in between, right? My preference is to get in, somewhere after this point, because if you wait to the top, you will have to kind of sit through this pullback, and you will see, you will experience some drawdown on your position, right? And you might not want to see that right away. So I like to start, enter a little bit more aggressively towards this point, especially after I see this, and then I see buyers stepping in. You start to see this longer candle form, then I jump in at this point, because you can see like there might be just a little bit of a drawdown, right? Just a little bit of a drawdown depending on when you get in. But that's what you're looking for. And then when do you get out? When do you get out? Look at this. Okay, remember we're on the 4 hour time frame. At the bottom, you might not be able to see this for those of you on TikTok, but these are dates. These are dates. This date is April 9th. Again, I'm just using this as an example, but this is April 9th, right? If you had got in on any of these candles, either April 9th, Wednesday, or this one, both of these are April 9th on a Wednesday. So either one of these, if you would have gotten in, then when would you have exited the position? Well, this is April 21st. This is April 24th. This point is April 30th. You could have gotten out anytime as the stock began to climb, or you just sit into that position until you see that buyers are no longer holding or pushing the stock price up again. But for QQQ, buyers continue to step in, pushing the price higher. There will be some pullback. That's expected. That's healthy continuation. You don't want to see like this during this trend. You don't want to keep seeing like these long, continuous bullish candles. You don't want to see that. You want to see some upward momentum with some slight pullback from sellers. Pullback, pullback, pullback. You want to see that, because that's your opportunity to see, okay, our buyer's going to step in after this pullback, and if they do, you'll continue to earn more profits. Look at how far this goes. All right, look at how far this goes. So at any point during this trend, you could have took profit. Any point during this trend, you could have took profit. You should have a target in mind before you enter your position. My target personally is 3 to 7%. 3 to 7%. You could have, let's say, 4 to 8%, or you could have a goal of 10%. However many contracts, or what, even if you just bought one contract, have a target in mind. All right. You want a target that's at least better than your typical savings account, right? High yield savings account, regular savings account, CD or certificate of deposit. You want a target that's higher than those, right? So I like 7%, you know, 10%. But if I get 3%, that's fine too. Okay. Because with your typical savings or CD, you're not going to have compounding like you will if you're day trading or trading these longer term positions. All right. So I want to be clear about that. You could have took profit at any point along this trend. And then what do you do after you take profit? Well, you rinse and repeat the process again. You wait for either the same stock to fall, or you go look at another stock. Well, the next question might be, well, Ace, how do I know which stocks to look for? How do I find those? That's a good question. Let me demonstrate. If you guys have questions, drop your questions in the comment section. Let me pause and make sure I'm not missing any. If you find value in this content so far, feel free to like, subscribe, and follow for more. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers on TikTok. So TikTok will finally give me a stream key so I can begin to share my screen with those of you on TikTok versus showing you from my mobile device and having to pivot for you guys. I apologize for the poor viewing experience, but hopefully I'll make it to 1,000 followers soon. But this is how you find stocks that move. Not every stock moves the way you want it, so that you can, you know, start making money, growing your money, right? If we go to SPY, you don't have to remember these steps. I'm just going to show you how to get here. So same thing. I click on the link in the right hand in the right pane. It opens up a new tab. We're in SPY, and under SPY, you'll notice the tab Holdings. Holdings. This is how you will find other stocks that are movers in the marketplace. All right. These are the stocks that you can definitely make money with. All right. So even if you don't want to trade Tesla, if you don't want to trade Qs, QQQ, or SPY itself, that's fine. You can go to SPY, click on holdings. There's over 500 holdings under SPY. And you can see some of these names you might already be familiar with. If I zoom in, you see companies like NVIDIA. You've heard of NVIDIA. That's a semiconductor. There's also AMD, but there's other tech companies like Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Meta. Everyone's heard of Meta. Pretty sure many of you use Facebook or Instagram. Might as well make some money from them. Might as well make some money from them. So you got Google, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan Chase, Visa, Eli Lilly, Netflix. Pretty sure many of you watch Netflix, right? Might as well make a little bit more money to start paying for that streaming uh, service, right? So there's many more, right? There's over 500. So you can pick any one of these. And you can start with the one that you're most familiar with, right? Something that you use on a daily, whether it's, like I said, Microsoft or like Facebook, so Meta or Instagram. If you use those social media platforms, then yes, start there. And there's cheaper contracts available for each of these. All right. So I've been testing the cheaper contracts and they do make money. All right. They do make money. And I've shown this several times each of my streams. Look at these contract prices: $53, $313. Yes, you see the quantity I'm buying, which is multiple contracts. That's how you begin to make a little bit more money. But notice the percentage. Notice the percentage. Let me slide this over a little bit. Oops. Notice the rate of return, okay? 18, 18, 14, 14. Remember, my goal is only 3 to 7%, but you'll typically make a little bit more than that. So if you're making 10% on $53, you just made $5. Isn't that amazing to be able to grow your money automatically by itself? You're not even having to sit in front of a screen all day and watch this. You do if you're day trading. That's a manual process. It's also, there is an option to automate that process, but that may be too complicated for some folks, okay, or many. I don't know. I don't want to assume, but there is that option. So that's the day trading side. But there's a longer term position, which is what we're discussing right now. You do have longer term options to select from, as I talked about a little bit earlier. As you can see here, I'm in Thinkorswim. These days within the parentheses, they represent time till expiration. So 3 days till expiration, 10 days. So you don't have to sit in front of your screen and day trade. You can still take advantage of option contracts by buying a option contract, one or more, and for like 10 days. You could buy one today and it doesn't expire until 10 days. That gives you time. Why does that matter? Because remember, I just demonstrated um, that this candle was April 9th, but look at over time, April 29th, May 14th. So these are the points, May 2nd, May 16th. So as you give the stock more time to grow, it's going to continue, it may continue climbing, right, in price. And so as it continues to climb, you'll continue to grow, right, and gain more profit. So that's what I said. You don't have to day trade. You can buy longer term positions. There's options, folks. There's options. All right. There's options. No pun intended. I know we're talking about options, but you do have options. All right. So yeah, start today. Start today. Opening that brokerage account is free. It's free, and you don't even. You can. There's an option to begin trading and testing this out risk free. All right. They will include what's called a paper trading account, which allows you to trade live, make live trades in the marketplace with fake money. So you're making the actual trades as if you were with your real money, but it's with fake money. So they give you that separate account so you can practice as much and as often as you feel, as you want to. Okay. So there's options, folks. I want people to get started. I want you to get started. Let me pause and ask. I appreciate the follows. Everyone that's been following, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the likes. Help me if you find value in this content. Hey, like, subscribe, and follow for more. Ask questions. Drop your questions in the comment in the live chat, or DM me your questions. If you're feeling shy, DM me your questions. I will answer each of your questions. I won't leave any of you hanging. Okay. Um, but yeah, you have options. Thank you, thank you. I love the likes. Appreciate that. Thank you. But you have options. You could take longer term positions, get in it today, and then give it like 30 days. And you could check periodically when you have the time, maybe on your lunch break, maybe on your, smoke breaks or whatever you do on your 15-minute breaks, when you get off of work, before you go to bed, and you can just check periodically and see what the stock is doing. Now, you might ask, well, Ace, what happens if I enter a position like you just showed on the chart? And what if it begins to reverse on me? I don't want to lose the money. This is my budget. This is the only thing that I have available, right? So let's assume you have just $100 available for your budget, right? To begin trading. That's all you have. You've worked hard to save up just $100 to be able to do this. And you're like, Ace, I can't afford to lose the whole $100. I don't want to do that. Do I have some form of protection? Yes, you do. You do have uh, a, a protection or a mechanism that you could use to protect you. Well, what does that look like? Well, let me show you guys. Let me show you guys. All right, so when you're in a position, I'm going to use this for example. Come on, click. Can you guys see this on TikTok? I hope you can see this on TikTok. I know those of you on the other streaming platforms, you can see this clearly because I'm sharing my screen. But let me know, those of you on TikTok, if you can't see this clearly. Okay. Um, so I'm just using this as an example. I'm in this position. Okay, appreciate that, John. Thanks. So I'm in this position, and if I click on it, I have to move this over for you guys on TikTok. It's going to give me an option to close. So let's assume we entered in a position when I noted on the chart earlier, right? Now we're in the position. The position is active. We click on it to select the close option. And I want you to see this option here. Hopefully, I'm going to zoom in for those of you on TikTok so you can see this a little bit more. And look, there's a drop down menu here. Now, you're not going to remember all of this. That's not the point. You're not going to remember all this. But I do want to demonstrate and show you that there is a mechanism that you can implement to protect you once you enter the position. So remember, you only have $100 position. It may be 200 or it may be 500, but this is all the money you spent this hard-earned money that you spend time saving up so you can begin growing your money, and you don't want to lose it, right? You want to protect it, because that's the third question in the rule of finance, right? How do I grow and protect my money once I accumulate it, right? You want to grow and protect it. So the way you can protect it when you're trading options is look at this option here. There's a drop down menu. You guys are not going to remember how to get here. That's not the point. I just want to show you that this mechanism exists. And then if you have questions, yeah, I'll be happy to go over it and show you more detailed step-by-step process how to get here. But within this option, it wasn't okay. So it won't let me do this for stocks. All right, let me go to, hold on, give me a second, guys. Let me do this. Let me switch accounts really quick. Let me go to options. I just had to switch to option contracts. All right, so I'm gonna choose this Tesla, for example. Let me pull this back up, go back to the same place, and we click on limit. All right, so here, there's this option called trail stop, or stop. I could have used that other example too, but I wanted to show you guys both of these options. So there's the stop and the trail stop, and these two work slightly different, similarly, but there's some variation, right? There is a difference between these two. They will stop you out and protect your profits. Both will protect you. But one lets you stay in the position a little bit longer to capture any more gains or potential gains. And that's the trail stop. All right. So this is a moving stop. And what does that look like? I'm going to demonstrate that on the chart. I'm just going to draw a simple line here to demonstrate this for you guys. So say we got in the position here, right? Hopefully you guys can see this on TikTok. Let me move this up. So hopefully you guys can see this clearly. All right. So say we enter the position here with the longer term contracts, right? And let me draw a simple line. Okay, so take this line for example. Say we got in here, all right, at this point. Now, what the stop and the trail stop works similarly, but the trail stop allows you to capture more gains as the stock moves, and when the stock moves up, the stop line moves up as well. All right, so this line represents our stop. This means that the system will exit the position once the stock falls or reaches to this point again. So if we got in here and then the stock began to climb, but then let's say a reversal occurred and the stock begins to drop. If the stock, or once the drop reaches this point, this is our stop that we've entered in the system. It will automatically exit us from the position. What happened? Well, those of you, uh, TikTok just for whatever, TikTok just ended my live stream because they flagged me uh, because they believe that uh, uh, they, they flagged it for potential financial scam. I'm not sure. I think they're just using AI and just listening for certain keywords or something like that. But I did submit the appeal, so we'll see. That happened to me several times already, and so I just had to keep submitting an appeal. But it sucks because I was in the middle of a live doing this explanation, and the viewers from answering questions, and it just sucks the experience overall. But I mean, but hey, trying to keep the you know platform safe, I get it. So it just sucks that you have to go through this process. But those of you on Instagram and YouTube, let me wrap this explanation up, and then well, I since any of you guys didn't have questions about this, let me just simply wrap this up, and then I'll close and then get ready for the market open in a couple of minutes here. Or actually, I'll just continue. I'll pause here and then I'll continue in the pre-market prep tomorrow. So that'll be the best thing. That way, I can give those on TikTok an opportunity to capture the rest of this explanation and not feel cheated. Okay, so I'm going to end the live here. I did talk about a couple of things. I spent a little bit longer doing some explanation, answering questions and stuff like that, which is good. I feel like that's cool. So I didn't get a chance to. All right, guys. So I'm gonna wrap up this session, and then I'll resume tomorrow, and we'll pick it up where we left off today. All right. So apologize for that. This overall experience. Bear with me because I'm going to improve it because I want you guys to get the most value that you can from these sessions. All right. So till next video, I'm good. My man, I'm Ace. I'm gonna drop the mic right here, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. All right. Later.